Okay, welcome back. 72 now. So yeah, I mean, the recovery you're talking about is very much there. So moving higher after the sell-off that we saw initially. Just want to quickly highlight the large cap movers. Indiabulls Housing, I mean, just a bunch of stocks which are leading this. Indiabulls Housing is up 4.5. I mean, not by way of how much it influences the index, but is a top gainer. HDFC is up almost 3%. That is HDFC Limited, 2104. Then you got Bajaj Finance. HDFC has moved up actually in the last 5, 7, 10 minutes. Bajaj Finance is up 2.5%. So that's back at about 32.50, 2.5 higher. Adani Ports is up 2.3. Bajaj Finserv is up about 2%. Actually, so the Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv both up over 2%. Larsen & Toubro is the other one, 1.8. Old economy name. ITC is up 1.5. Britannia, ICICI Bank are up 1.5% each as well. I mean, there's Axis, HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank is up about 1.3, 1.4% right now. The commodities, the metals and mining space is what is down and out. The top 4 nifty losers are all steel names. Tata Steel, JSW Steel, Hindalco, and one Vedanta as well. So anything between 3 and 5.5% is what we've got in terms of cuts there. We'll just come back to this in a bit. 74, so looking good in the Nifty. But this is an important story. Even as news reports suggest that the government is planning to bring adult diapers, sanitary napkins, hand washes, disinfectants and other essential products under price controls. This was a story in a prominent newspaper over the weekend. Sources say that the industry represented by trade associations is planning to write to the government with their version of things. Their contention, the main contention being that prices in India for these products are already amongst the lowest in the world. My colleague Priya is getting us this story. Priya.
Well, absolutely. The industry is clearly worried about any potential price control that could take place in the hygiene category. In fact, what we understand from our sources is that the Feminine and Infant Hygiene Association, as well as the Indian Technical Textile Association, are working on making a representation to the government on this issue. What they're essentially likely to say is that they are not making exorbitant profits by selling hygiene products. That's the industry we're talking about. The industry is of the view that diapers and other hygiene products in India, the prices of these are the lowest in Southeast Asia, which makes them the reason why these prices are high is because hospitals charge high prices for unbranded hygiene products. And they are facing a lot of challenges from Chinese imports and other unbranded products available in the market. So essentially what they're seeking from the government is encouragement for domestic production as well as some sort of curb on Chinese imports. So what we really need to wait and watch is what kind of stance the government really takes and whether or not they take the feedback of the industry before coming out with any such price control on products like diapers, sanitary napkins, disinfectants, hand washes, and many more.
Okay, all right, Priya, thanks for that. Let's see what eventually comes out between the push and pull industry on one side, government on the other. Moving on now to a different story. Ritu is joining in with the latest updates on the resolution for Jet Airways. Ritu, an unending saga. What's happening now?
Well, 3 players had come forward and submitted expressions of interest when the deadline ended, one of which we now know, Anil Agarwal's Vulcan Investments, then backed out. But even after the deadline ended, there's a South American company, conglomerate rather, Synergy Group, that also owns an aviation company in Colombia that also submitted a bid. Now, given that this was submitted after the deadline ended, it will now be presented to the lenders to see whether or not they will consider this expression of interest at all. But that aside, the other 2 bids that have come in from a Panama-based entity, which is Avantulo Group and the Russian fund RA Creator, will be examined by the lenders in today's meeting, and they will shortlist the final potential bidders that will then be given access to the data room, and only the eligible bidders from this list will be allowed to place final bids by the 12th of September, which is what we're given to understand. The outcome of this meeting will be awaited to see if any of these players actually make the cut, because there have been no strategic players that have really come forward other than this one company, Synergy Group, that even that has submitted the AOI after the deadline ended.
Ritu, thanks very much for that. So, Ritu getting you the latest details on Jet and where that process stands. 75 on the Nifty. So this is 40 points higher from where we began at 11 o'clock today. 10,900. I mean, past that level for the second time in the day. The first, of course, was the gap up that we saw, which got sold into. Well, another quick break here. Stay with us. We get you some trading ideas on the futures and options front. Rahul Shah of Motilal Oswal with those in just a bit.
लिसन, इतने से घर में कैसे मैनेज होगा? बेबी भी, स्टूडियो भी, हाँ?
तुम्हारा स्टूडियो यहाँ पर नहीं होगा।
मैं कर रही हूँ?
अरे यार कहीं और होगा। मेरा मतलब ढूंढते मैजिक ब्रिक्स पे एक बड़ा सा घर जो बेबी प्रूफ हो।
पता बदलता है तो सपनों के लिए ज्यादा जगह बन जाती है। चुनिए अपना नया पता मैजिक ब्रिक्स पर। प्रॉपर्टी से मिलेगी यही।
Takes a nurturing hand for brighter possibilities. Invest today in Sundaram Equity Fund for nurtured growth. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
As the world changes at an extraordinary pace, global forces play a key role in your business. To help you understand these trends, we get you up close with the most influential world leaders and the biggest names in foreign policy. We decode dynamics of global events to get you the most comprehensive perspective on foreign affairs and how they impact India and the world.
The Global Eye at these times on CNBC-TV18 and CNBC-TV18.com.
कास्ट 24 में होगा आपकी कार का आरसी ट्रांसफर टेंशन फ्री। मैंने खुद रिव्यू किया है। मेरी मानो, कार बेचनी हो तो कास्ट 24।
Welcome back. We're almost hitting 12 noon. Let's get in a couple of F&O trading ideas before we get to that. Rahul Shah of Motilal Oswal is joining in. Rahul, it's a bit of a sort of choppy market, and now we're getting that recovery once again. What trades are you going with? And on the index, what's the directional call?
Hi, good morning. I think Nifty, has been pretty volatile. Nifty, Bank Nifty, we saw good up and down today. But my sense is, I think way from the lower levels, what the markets have recovered, I feel that still another 50-60 points on Nifty is easily warranted from the current levels. So same is the case for Bank Nifty. I think Bank Nifty also we saw a good round of sell-off and again recovering smartly from the lower levels. I expect another 200 points rally in the Bank X. So the stock ideas from my side, three long from current levels. I think first is Bajaj Finance. The stock has resiled quite well in the sell-off as well. We saw a smart recovery, a good longs built up, and I feel that the stock can go to 33.50. Just keep a stop loss of 3200. Second is Sun Pharma. I feel the stock has been consolidating between 415 to 425, and I think now it's at a breakout point. So I would go long on Sun Pharma with a stop loss of 418, target 435. And third, again from the banking space, Axis Bank. The stock has consolidated quite a lot of at the lower levels between 660 to 670. So I feel now risk to reward going long on Axis Bank would be favorable. So I would go long in Axis with a stop loss of 665 and target of 700.
Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate you joining in and running us through those trades. You know, so it's there's another pullback, not pullback, but we were up 75 points. We're up 61 now. So a slight dip. It's not running up and running away. So we'll watch the space closely. From Surabhi, me and everyone on the team, thank you very much for staying with us over the last hour. We'll take a very quick break here and more coming up on the other side.